Hello everyone, hope you're doing well, hope you've had a great day. It's been a while, I know. So the reason why I haven't been uploading for the past not 2 days, for the past two times where I'm supposed to upload, right? So last week, Wednesday and Friday. The reason I didn't upload is because I was down and still am down with a very, very wicked cold. I couldn't speak yesterday, and now it's better. My voice might still sound weird. I might still cough once in a while during this video, but I am much better now, and I am going to get back into flipping and recording. But yeah, let's talk about something that is very, very overdue. The extrusion. Specifically, this is the Extrusion V1. So certain things I say for like grip, for example, won't apply, but then again, for those things, I'll try to just ignore them because they are not a problem anymore. But yeah, so let's talk about the Nabalis extrusion. So the reason I'm doing this video so late compared to everyone else is not because I just got this knife, right? I got this, I bought it the moment it came out, and I got it pretty early. I think I got it like a week after it was out. And the reason I'm only making a video now is because I lent it to my brother so he could learn flipping. But unfortunately, he gave up at the basic opening, so he tried. But yeah, extrusion. So let's talk about it. So the Nabalis extrusion is all aluminum, kind of like the Squiddy AL. But the difference is the Squiddy AL is fully 6061. The extrusion is 6061 down here and 7075 on the blade. And one more thing, the Squiddy L is pinsless, while the extrusion has steel Zen pins. And that is something that worried quite a lot of people at the start. But if I'm not wrong, Aaron from Nabalis said that because of the humongous surface area of the Zen cups and the Zen pins, there isn't actually that much of an impact on handle gap, even though it's, aluminum on stainless steel. So I guess we don't need to worry about that. At least from what I've seen, the handle gap on the extrusion hasn't closed at all, so that's pretty good. It will obviously close over time eventually. I will assume faster than my other stuff, but that's gonna happen either way, so no point worrying. So yeah, let's talk about the actual flipping. First, let me oil it because it's been, I think, like a good 2 months since this thing was oiled. Got my carbon honey. But before I oil this, let's talk about the whole public flipping element. So with the newer knives like the extrusion, the cheese, Nabalis has marketed them as public flippers. Do I think that applies for the extrusion? Kinda. So what do I mean by that? When it came to the Nabalis cheese, the reason I felt that it was not a good public flipper was because of durability, and that's because of the Teflon coating. But with the extrusion, it is not durability, it is the fact that it looks too much like a knife. Okay, so if we take the cheese, it's dual tone and the blade is white and it has holes all over it. It still has the shape of a tanto blade, which is not great. But I think if you live in a safer area, the cheese is pretty passable to most civilians. I'm talking about civilians like I'm some kind of cop, but yeah. Cheese, I think, is quite a bit more friendly in terms of appearance. However, the extrusion looks a lot more like a knife, and it doesn't have any cutouts, so it has the exact silhouette of a knife. There's nothing that will give away to some random guy on the street that this is a trainer and it's not sharp, unless you just, go up to them and do this. But then they'll probably try to fight you. But yeah, extrusion, not great for public flipping because of the fact that it just straight up resembles a blade. There's not even any holes. So yeah. But I think the thing that might make it a decent public flipper is the color options. So if I remember correctly, the extrusion comes in this purple color, which I love, the whites, and also black. So if you are trying to get a public flipper, I think at the very least get a purple. That is the most obviously not a knife color. Even then, I would say still be careful if you're living somewhere with shit. if you're not living somewhere that's super safe, I would say just don't flip the extrusion in public, right? Maybe not even in school, right? So maybe if you're at like work in your office, in your own stall, maybe it's fine, but in public, generally, if you're not somewhere super safe, don't flip the extrusion in public. That's just my advice. You can do whatever you want. The extrusion is cheap enough so that, well, it's not cheap, but it's cheap enough that if it gets confiscated, your life is not gonna get ruined. But yeah, do what you will with my information. I am just saying, probably don't use this as a public flipper for the most part. But let's get to the actual flipping finally. So the extrusion I think flips really, really well. The extrusion by default comes with the lightweights installed. So if you can see in the handle, there's this little block spacer thing that's pretty similar to what is on the Sasori and Totori. These spacers have two weights, right? So there's either light or heavy. The ones I have in here right now are heavy. So if you're using the light weights, I believe the extrusion is completely neutral or even slightly blade bias. But with these, it is slightly handle bias. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I think even with the weights in, it feels pretty neutral and it helps it carry more momentum than with the light weights. So that's how I prefer flipping it. Now, if my flipping is horrible today, it's because I'm very rusty, because once again I've been sick for God knows how long. So yeah, excuse my horrible flipping for now, I guess. But yeah, for flipping, I think the extrusion flips really, really well. There's basically no trick that it can't do, except for certain tricks where I need to go between your fingers, such as the choker fan. It can do those tricks, it's just that you need to be a lot more cautious because, well, the extrusion V1 is very slippery. But I assume with the other extrusions, with the newer ones, it's not a problem anymore, so you can disregard it if you're not buying like a second-hand V1. But yeah, extrusion, not much to talk about. It's good, it's really good for the price. Actually, yeah, let's talk about the price. The extrusion, I believe, is $50, and that is absolutely insane. The fucking price to value proposition of this thing is genuinely insane. Like, I would say this flips a bit better than my Canyon, because the Canyon is a little bit sluggish, but this extrusion is very, very agile. It stacks up to any of my other knives in terms of, you know, how fast it can change directions. So I think if you're looking for a pure flipping experience and not like durability or like anything else, I think the extrusion is pretty high up there in terms of budget options. I would say it definitely is better than, okay, not definitely, but in my opinion it is better than the Volp, and I would say it is better than the Canyon in some ways and not in some other ways. So I would say maybe it's a side grade from the Canyon, but yeah, if you're looking for a cheap addition to your collection, you can't go wrong with this thing. It looks great because of the patterns and the colors. It holds up well, and tolerances are great, and adjustable weights at $50. Insane. So yeah, I would say that's about it for the extrusion. Next video will probably be on the marbles, and actually now that I think about it, this whole week is probably just gonna be about the belly stuff. So yeah, look forward to that, and yeah, that's about it for now. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.